Jane Eyre's early childhood at Gateshead. Jane Eyre is an orphan girl who is 10 years old. She lives in Gateshead with her aunt and her cousins, who called Reed family. Jane Eyre lost caring, happiness, love in her childhood. Where one day she argued with her, one day she fighting with her cousin John, and she argued with him. For the argument, her auntie punished for her. Thank you.
Jane looked into the red room. She feels an unpleasant atmosphere. Superstitiously, Jane feels her deceased uncle's presence, but she will not release from the locked room since Mrs. Reed got calm herself. Jane faints from fear. She will be in her bedroom when she wakes up. She hears a muffled voice. That voice from Bessie. Bessie is a servant of Gateshead. She treats Jane as her daughter. Jane got mother care from Bessie, and Bessie knew about Mrs. Reed's feminism and violence, and also her father, and also knew about her poor clergy father. Thank you.
Now I'm going to explain about the education in Lowood Charity School. Lowood Charity School is the school where poor students and unparent students studied in the school. Jane Eyre came to the school at the bedtime. So next day only she found a friend named Helen, and she explained her about the school. This is a poor student school and unparent students studied in the school. And also the school is surrounded with the forest environment. Jane Eyre was very afraid of the school because this is because of the society. Her friend explained her, this is, I'm here with you, don't worry about the school. And also this is the place where she found self-confident, and because of this only she faced a lot of challenges in the society. Thank you.
I am now talking about, describe about the Mr. Brockless. He is a hypothetical man, headmaster, and he doesn't follow Christian missions, and he take the money and on his own life, take the religion's power to control, and once a day he was cut the hair students because they used ribbon, and then he removed the school after Helen death.
I will explain Helen Byrne. Helen Byrne is the companion of Jane at Lowood School. She represents a Christian missionary. She follows all the Christian things: acceptance, forgiveness, and tolerance. She believes the God is punish the wickedness at the final judgment. She trusts God. When the headmaster, Mr. Brocklester, she doesn't follow the Christian missionary. She used religion to his power and luxury life, but she accepts all the things and she believes the God will punish them in the final judgment. And Jane highlighted obedient and nature, simple nature. It's represented by Helen. Jane studied very characters of Helen life. Helen goal is find the love and happiness in the world, but she doesn't find it. And I talk about Miss Maria Temple. She's a warm-hearted superintendent at Lowood School. She always provides to help others. For an example, when their breakfast is bad, she provides bread and cheese for the students. And she's an inspiring woman. She's a modern lady, like her behavior. He's very kindly person. He always cares Helen and Jane. For an example, when they are Helen dying time, she provides a warm bed for Helen. And Jane, after Jane comes Mrs. Reed family, after she meets a lady, after Bessie, she meets a lady. It's a positive role model. That is her Miss Maria Temple. She loves her very much. That's why she decides to leave the school to get married. So she also decided to leave the school because she doesn't like to stay here. Thank you.
Today I am explain the religion, or how the religion was dominate the education at Lowood. John Eyre education at Lowood was heavily influenced by religion. The school was run by Mr. Brocklehurst, who was the strict Calvinist. As a result, the girls were taught a very severe lesson for the lesson for the Christianity. As a result, severe Christianity, it's which emphasize the importance of the self-denial, and humanist. The religious education at Lowood was not limited lesson. It permitted the religious education at Lowood was not limited the lesson. It's permitted every inspect of the girls' lives. And the school, they were required to attend the church services in multiple times a day, and were expected to spend their free time, the most of free time, they're reading the Bibles and other religious texts. The food was plain and simple, in keeping with the keeping with the idea of self-denial, and the girls were not allowed any luxuries. One of the most memorable scenes in this novel that occurs that the headmaster was incensed, inspect the girls' wardrobes and find some of them wearing the pretty dresses and ribbons in their hair. He insists that andromeds are sinful and worldly, and order the girls who have the hair cut short and their dresses were replaced plain and adornment garments. Expect this strictness of education at Lowood. Jane Eyre does find comfort and soul in her faith. He takes the comfort she takes the comfort that idea of a higher power watching over her and her suffering the purpose of God's plan. Ultimately, her religious beliefs help to her to find strength and courage the face the challenges that lie ahead. Thank you.
Now I'm going to continue about staying time period in Lowood Charity School. Jane Eyre totally spent 8 years in the school, first 6 years as a student and second 2 years as a teacher. After the 2 year, because of her friend death and teacher Miss Temple's wedding, she decided to move on from this place and she applied for a governor's job. After that, she got a job in Thornfield, then she moved on from this place.
Good morning to you all. Jane Eyre plot can be divided into 5 distinct sections. Today I am going to talk about the third distinct section, that is Jane's time at Thornfield. I am going to talk about the 2 important points in this section. First one is position as a governess and introduction of the second main character, Roger. First one, position as the governor. So Jenny is working as 2 years as a teacher in the Lowood. She experienced a lot in the school, but she wants to leave from the school because of the left of the teacher Temple. Temple is not only a teacher, but also the good friend of Jane. So she's experienced that loneliness after the left of the Temple. That time, she saw an advertisement in the newspaper that is a position as the governor in the Thornfield. So she decided to apply for the job. She don't feel anything. She accept all the position because he experienced a lot and studied a lot. She wants the love and want to change his life from the law. So she applied for the job of as a governess. She received the position of as governor from the Thornfield from Mrs. Firefox. So she waited in the bill book. So at that time, a servant received Jenny to the Thornfield. That time, a mid-looking old lady who is Mrs. Firefox, she received Jane very kindly and she explained all the work. And that time she met the next part, Adley, who is 8-year-old child. He discovered the new pupil of her and she get the position as the governor. That time she met next main character, Roger, He's the owner of the John pool, and he's a very kind person. And that time, Mrs. Firefox explained all the position and responsibilities and the Rogers about the Rogers family. Thank you.
I am discussing about love with Rochester. His manner, his strength, manner, and not particular handsome appearance, but Jane's lots of love with him because she feel lots of hind with her, and time spent discussing about our future life. So she feel the true love with her, and one of the reason he's the first person she hind and care with her. So she feels a lot of love, and she wants lots of year wants to live with Rochester.
My point of time to Thornfield, I have 2 points. Mistress and social issues, both are depend on each other. First one is mysterious. I want to describe 2 characters. First one is Selena, second one is John. Selena, who are Adela mother and live with Rochester, and she believed that he will marry her, but one day she went to another man for one night stand. That's why Rochester refused her. Second one, John. John truly love with him and want to marry dear wife for Rochester. The 2 characters are different way of the writer saying. The next one, social issues. Social issues also depend on mistress. John want to be a wife for Rochester, but Jane want to be a wife for social status, and also Rochester want to marry Jane for a second time because he already married. The issue is who a man did not get divorced, he would not marry another woman.
I'm going to tell about the pain of love, and Jane find out about the Bertha mission. Here we can see Rochester and Jane prefers to get engaged, and they went to church. And during that time, Bertha's brothers tell the truth in front of the old people, and then only James identify Rochester is already married man. She preferred to leave from Rochester and Thornfield. During that time, Jane's not allowed, Rochester not allowed to go her, and she knows that Rochester is already married to Bertha Mason. She's a mad woman. She's locked away from the Thornfield. Even he doesn't abandon her. And Jane recalled her past, and she asked to leave from Rochester. Rochester doesn't allow that. She tells him she wants to go. She wants some peaceful place, and finally Rochester allowed to go from him. Thank you.
Good morning to you all. The plot can be divided into 5 distinct sections. Now I am going to present 4th section, her retreat to Moorhead. Charlotte Bronte's 1847 masterpiece, Jane Eyre, is more than a classical love story. It is also development that traces her life from childhood into adulthood. In the process, tell about the story of emerging individuality, the evaluation of an independent. The setting of Moore House plays key role in which the Jan's emerging sense of self, a novel setting or physical environment in which that story occurs is often a novel setting or physical environment. A novel setting or physical environment is to in which that story occurs is often vital to the plot itself.
She begged for food and job. At the time, she found a bakery and a piece of bread. She felt isolated and worried her about loneliness. After she found her family, her cousins, St. John's, Mary, and Diana.
I'm going to talk about the keywords are develop the independence, St. John Rivers propose, and identity. The site of Jane's emerging independence, it's mean she develops her independence at Moore House. At Moore House, St. John Rivers tries to propose her, but she doesn't accept that because she truly loves Rochester still now, and St. John's Rivers is opposite of Rochester in many ways, and he aims to suppress her identity and personality and independence also. So she doesn't accept his propose, and that time woman follows that surprise in their identities, and men were powerful at the time.
Our parties, Jane returned to Rochester at the Ferdinand. During the prayer last night, St. John's prayed with Jane to accomplish her marriage agreement, but during the prayer, she understood her love with Rochester, and she heard the voice, Jane, 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 Rochester's voice. Then she suddenly left to farm, but she did not find him. Then she returned to her home, her room. She prayed individually, but but her prayer better than St. John's prayer, because she realized she realized spirits and inner feelings of happiness, but St. John Rivers did not never feel that feelings. So next morning she got up and feel anxious, and she told Mary and Diana she planned to return to Thornfield for 3 days. During that time, St. John wrote a letter on the door that mentioned don't accept temptation, but she feel this is not evil, but it is nature, mother's nature. She already realized that mother's nature. Then she went to Thornfield. During that time, she thought 1 year before she was hopeless, loneliness, no money, but she now has friends, family, and fortunes. During that journey, she annexes to meet Rochester, because after 1 year, she feels very much love to him. Like lovers feel the same feeling. After departure from the station, she began to walk 2 miles, and she noticed that mansion was completely black and ruined. She annexes to know what happened to that mansion and Rochester. So she returned to railway station. She got understand some bad incident happened to that mansion. That Bertha mansion torched that mansion last autumn. That time Rochester saved his servants, but unable to rescue his wife. But he lost his sight and hand. And also Bertha Mansion, like a violent, brave, and vigorous woman, but compared to Jane, she is like a child, little weak. Why Bertha Mansion touched that mansion? Due to she feel Jane was a competitor for her sexual partner. Due to that, she got angry and burned that house. Then also the St. John River is a cold man. He is like a frozen sea that splitted into 2 parts. If she don't rejected his proposal, she will fall into that deep frozen sea. But due to the pure love with Rochester, she rejected firmly. Thank you.
I will talk about her independence. In this chapter, she realizes her independence. Early childhood, she she is described as a caged eagle, and she is unable to take her own decisions because of her family and because of her aunt. But when when she reunites with Rochester, she is financially independent. When a country uh, independent from other dominant countries, that country people feel happy as well as like that she feels happy, and now she is able to take her own decisions. Thank you.
Our next topic is isolation and a final destination. In this novel, Jane Eyre finally reached Ferndon. It is her final destination where Rochester lives, and she can start her life as she dreamed of, and she can become independent. And the place Ferndon described as an isolated place by using such words unhealthy, unpleasant, and dark and gloomy. The next topic is sacrifice. Bertha's and Rochester's lives has become sacrificed because they both got married without love or any feeling towards each other. After a few days, Bertha became a mentally illness person, and she started to abuse Rochester, and Rochester's life also became sacrificed because Jane refuses his marriage proposal because of his first marriage. And our next topic is happy ending. In this topic, the last chapter includes so many happy things all together. Those people who were good at Jane, nice to Jane, they all got rewarded. For example, the cousins Diana got ended up getting love marriages, and Rochester's daughter Adele became a good companion for Jane. And at the end, Jane and Rochester got married, and Jane finally found her heaven in relationship.